Davis situation in LA, they get Zion.
Yeah.
And then again this year with Luka.
It's rigged.
That's clearly rigged.
Everybody knew that. I just forgot that they made this trade. I just thought since they got Anthony Davis, they might not give him the number 1 pick, but
Dallas literally made the play-in game, bro.
Yeah.
It should not be the number 1 pick, bro. It's no way.
LeBron calls out the rigged NBA draft lottery.
Listen, man, during the ball drop, during the lottery drop, Cleveland got the number 1 pick. I just don't think that was. What a coincidence!
Don't you?
Wemby with the Spurs. Oh my God! Let's keep LeBron home. You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. Derrick Rose to the Bulls. Right? I understand the assignment, guys.
You guys have already seen that clip. LeBron on Pat McAfee talking about how ridiculous the NBA draft lottery is. And then the Dallas Mavericks now own the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft. Having traded Luka Doncic, everyone is skeptical. A 1% chance and they land the number 1 pick.
As the draft lottery took place and everybody immediately said it was rigged. The Dallas Mavericks with a 1.8% chance to win the draft lottery and have the number 1 overall pick, presumably for Cooper Flagg, ended up winning the draft lottery right there on TV. Now, the way Mark Tatum in the NBA decided to do it was certainly interesting. Anytime you have 2 people left for something and there's only going to be 1 winner, especially a number 1 overall pick, we believe that you should probably showcase who's the first overall pick so there can be a celebratory moment as opposed to, Spurs, you get the number 2. And also that means Dallas gets number 1. Should be a celebratory moment. Obviously, it was for the people in Dallas, especially after how the year has gone. Obviously, Luka gets traded away from the Dallas Mavericks. Here's Nico and the boys back in Dallas. 1.8% chance. We did it. Now, as they were reacting in complete surprise, everybody on the internet said it was no surprise. Everybody said that this was kind of a rigged situation. They made a move for the NBA. Luka to LA was obviously a massive storyline, brought a lot of people back to the NBA as maybe their ratings were kind of dwindling. And in return, the NBA paid him back by giving him the number 1 overall pick. Now,
you're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, you keep procrastinating over and over. No, do it right now. Been all day on the phone anyhow. Why are you making it complicated? It's easy.
You know what makes this even more suspicious is Nico Harrison went around basically doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on his decision to trade Luka Doncic. And I even did a video talking about he might have done irreparable damage to the franchise and they might not recover from this for decades, right? Only for the Dallas Mavericks with a 1% chance to turn around and get the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Make it make sense. You guys remember LeBron leaving to the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers somehow with a 2-point-something chance of landing the number 1 pick, getting the number 1 pick to draft Kyrie Irving. Chris Paul going from Pelicans to the Clippers and Pelicans somehow land the number 1 draft pick to get Anthony Davis. And then we, of course, see it now with Luka Doncic going over to the Lakers and the Mavs get the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. This is not something we know for sure, right? But it's very odd and suspicious. All right. Allegedly, the NBA draft lottery is rigged, according to many.
We've seen the number 1 pick get to the team that, made a major trade right before that. Look at the Chris Paul situation, which is wild. You look at Anthony Davis situation in LA, they get Zion.
Yeah.
And then again this year with Luka.
It's rigged.
That's clearly rigged.
Everybody knew that. I just forgot that they made this trade. I just thought since they got Anthony Davis, they might not give him the number 1 pick, but
Dallas literally made the play-in game, bro.
Yeah.
It should not be the number 1 pick, bro. It's no way.
Man,
rigged,
I looked at so many teams that could have used help that is like low in the lottery, high in the lottery. That shit sucks, man.
LeBron wasted no time coming out with laughing emojis on Twitter and just laughing off, the Dallas Mavericks somehow landing the number 1 draft pick. This is ridiculous. Come on. At some point, it's like the NBA, you're better off just telling us that you guys get to decide who's going to draft number 1 in the NBA draft. Just let us know All right. I also want to mention, Jason Tatum went down with a devastating Achilles injury. You guys know if you follow my channel that I'm a Celtics fan. Just, man, already losing the series, going down 3-1, and then Jason Tatum, 2 minutes left in the game, goes down with the Achilles tear. And, hopefully JT makes, a great recovery from this. I just gotta say, man, there's something going on with the league where, a lot of young players are going down with non-contact injuries. We've seen Achilles injuries rise in the NBA over the last decade. And, just ACL tears, ridiculous injuries that used to be a one-off, years ago are more prevalent now. So the NBA has to figure something out because there's definitely something going on, especially when it's non-contact. You have these non-contact injuries that keep happening in young players, not older players. So there's definitely a problem that the NBA needs to take a look at. And as far as my Celtics, this is just, who knows, this is going to be an off season of a lot of decisions for Brad Stevens and the organization, but it's just bad, man, because, JT is most likely out for the rest of next season too. So, we'll see how it goes from here, but hopefully JT makes a full recovery from this and, gets better from this. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. Peace.